Level 1. Trash. Strikers who can't strike. Rasmus Højlund. He walked into Manchester United as the £72 million answer to their striker curse. He was supposed to be the young, fearless number 9 who dragged them back to the glory days. Instead, his debut Premier League season was a highlight reel of running the channels, working hard, and missing. Lots of missing. Sure, he bagged 5 Champions League goals in the 2023/24 group stage, which gave fans a glimmer of hope. But when it came to the Premier League, the goals dried up. By the time the season closed, the kid had barely scraped double digits across all competitions. His movement is sharp, his pressing relentless, and he's got the pace to stretch defenses, but that killer instinct, still under construction. He had to leave when Amorim came, now playing for Napoli. He may get his spark back there. Then you've got Timo Werner. He is a walking reminder that confidence can vanish faster than a VAR check. At RB Leipzig, Werner was electric. 90 goals in 4 Bundesliga seasons, tearing up defenses with his speed and sharp runs. Then Chelsea dropped £47 million to bring him to the Premier League in 2020, and suddenly, the man couldn't buy a goal. Open nets, missed. One-on-ones, straight at the keeper. He even had goals ruled out for offside so often that Timo Werner offside felt like its own statistic. Fast forward to Tottenham in 2024 and the story didn't change much. The pace was still there, but the finishing touch that made him Germany's main striker years ago, gone missing. Even when he found the net, fans joked that it felt like a collector's item. He had to return to Leipzig after the loan ended. Level 2. Bad. Flashes of talent, but mostly frustration. Wout Weghorst. He is built like a striker from a video game cheat code. 6'6", broad frame, aerial dominance. On paper, he should have been unstoppable. In reality, his Premier League spell turned him into a meme. Burnley signed him to save their season in 2022. They still got relegated. Manchester United then gave him a shock loan, desperate for a forward option. He worked hard, pressed like a maniac, and forgot how to score. For a club defined by strikers like Van Nistelrooy and Rooney, his total goals were comedy. Fans loved his effort, but every time he lined up a shot, you could almost hear Old Trafford sigh. In 2025, at Ajax, he's back to a more comfortable level, but that stint at United sealed his place in striker folklore. Cult figure, not clinical finisher. And then there's Nicolas Jackson. Signed from Villarreal in 2023, he showed flashes of brilliance. He'll chase everything, run all game, and his movement drags defenders out of position. But the finishing? That's another story. Jackson's XG numbers balloon because he constantly gets into scoring positions, but his conversion rate makes fans want to close their eyes when he shoots. By late 2024, he'd racked up a hat-trick against Tottenham, but followed it with weeks of sitters missed that had Chelsea fans questioning reality. He's the ultimate chaos striker. One moment he looks like Drogba's heir, the next he's scuffing the ball out for a throw-in. Level 3. Mid. Reliable but not legendary. Álvaro Morata. He might be the ultimate definition of a mid-striker. He's played for Real Madrid, Juventus, Chelsea, and Atletico Madrid. A resume stacked with European giants, and yet, he's somehow remembered more for the chances missed than the ones scored. The guy is technically gifted, quick, and clever with his movement. He's scored over 200 goals in his career, but ask any fan base he's passed through and the story is the same. Promise followed by frustration. At Chelsea, his habit of squandering big chances left a lasting mark. Since then, he's bounced through clubs, and now at Como on loan from Milan, he's still carrying that same unpredictable edge. With Spain, he led the line through Euro 2024 and the 2025 qualifiers, showing flashes of brilliance, but the inconsistency remains. When he's in rhythm, he looks every bit the complete striker. When he's not, he fades out of games entirely. That's why managers keep trusting him as a starter, yet he's rarely mentioned among the true elites. He is reliable, but not of class as per se. Ollie Watkins. He has quietly become one of the Premier League's most consistent frontmen at Aston Villa. Since arriving from Brentford in 2020, he has sharpened his game every year, evolving into the kind of striker who always guarantees a solid return. By 2023/24, he'd fired Villa back into Europe with 19 league goals and another batch of assists. He thrives on his engine, he presses, he drifts wide, he links up play, and that versatility keeps him invaluable to managers. The knock on him is that he's rarely the guy who takes over a game. You can count on double-digit goals, you can't count on him dragging a team through a Champions League night against the Giants. In 2025, he's still Villa's main man, still improving, but firmly capped at reliable Premier League striker rather than world beater. Darwin Núñez. He is football's chaos merchant. At Benfica, he lit up Portugal with blistering runs and a season where he hit 26 league goals. That earned him Liverpool's checkbook in 2022, where he instantly became one of the Premier League's most polarizing players. On one hand, Núñez is a defender's nightmare. Strong, rapid, relentless in pressing, and always getting into dangerous positions. On the flip side, Núñez remains wildly unpredictable. The kind of striker who will smash a long-range howitzer one night and fluff a sitter the next. Under Klopp and then Slot at Liverpool, he was used like a wild card, and in 2024/25 he played a key role, including that Bamford brace in stoppage time, yet he never quite shook the inconsistent finisher label. Now, in 2025, with his move to Al Hilal, he's seeking a new stage. In big moments, he still flashes the traits of a match winner, but still not quite there yet. Level 4. Okay, solid, valuable, but not transcendent. Alexander Isak. He has elevated himself into something quietly lethal, tall, graceful, and technically sharp. He fitted seamlessly into Eddie Howe's system at Newcastle. After joining in 2022, he gradually became their talisman, and in the 2024-25 season, he nearly dragged them into the Champions League spots. He's more than just a finisher. He dribbles past defenders like a winger, drops into midfield to link play, and thrives in tight quarters. Injuries have periodically derailed his momentum, but when healthy, he looks every bit like a forward capable of stepping into great territory. In 2025, now at Liverpool, he's charged with anchoring the attack both domestically and in Europe, still delivering in surges, still chasing the consistency to be remembered among the elite. For now, he is okay. Only time will tell if he will move to the next level. Romelu Lukaku. He is a riddle managers keep trying to solve. At his peak, he was unplayable. Power, pace, and goals everywhere he went, from Everton to Inter. His 24-goal season helped Inter win Serie A in 2021, and when he's motivated, he looks unstoppable. But the Chelsea return in 2021 was a disaster. An ill-timed interview, poor form, and a quick exit. Since then, his career has been nomadic, with loans back to Inter, then Roma, and by 2025 he's found a new chapter at Napoli. He still delivers double-digit goals almost every season, but inconsistency and off-pitch noise have dented his reputation. He is the definition of okay, but not yet above ordinary. Level 5. Good. The strikers who can take over games. Lautaro Martínez. He has turned into the face of Inter Milan's revival. Since joining in 2018, he's grown from a raw, energetic forward into the complete leader of their attack. By 2023, he was wearing the captain's armband and leading them to a Champions League final, Serie A dominance, and multiple Coppa Italia titles. He is strong in the air, lethal with both feet, and tireless in pressing, the kind of forward managers dream about. The criticism that followed him early on about wastefulness has faded as he sharpened his finishing. In 2024/25, he hit 25-plus league goals again and led Argentina alongside Messi and Álvarez. Julián Álvarez. He has quietly reshaped his role, not just as a goal threat, but as a tactical weapon. Signed by Manchester City in 2022, he slotted in behind Haaland, yet still found ways to impact games. But in 2024, he made the definitive leap. Álvarez moved from Manchester City to Atletico Madrid in a club record transfer. At Madrid, he's had to adapt again. More responsibility, fewer luxury substitutions. That same tireless work rate carries over, pressing from the front, combining between the lines and scoring with all kinds of finishes. But now his trajectory is under more scrutiny. In 2025, as Atletico's focal point in attack, he's no longer a side piece, and that comes with higher expectations. Still, the question lingers, can he sustain this level long enough to be more than versatile midfield forward hybrid and finally rise into the true elite? Victor Osimhen. He is the kind of striker who plays like he's plugged into a different power source. Tall, fast, and aggressive, he turns every run into a test of a defender's survival skills. His breakthrough came at Napoli, where he smashed Serie A wide open in 2022/23. That year, he led the club to their first league title since Diego Maradona, scoring 26 goals and instantly cementing himself as a hero in Naples. The mask he wore after facial surgery became an icon. Kids across Nigeria and Italy started copying it, turning him into both a superstar and a symbol of resilience. His game lives in sudden bursts of danger. He doesn't lurk in the box waiting for scraps. He hunts the ball, pressures defenders into mistakes, and revels in chaos. Give him half a yard and he's in, often with a thunderous finish. In 2024/25, he spent the season on loan at Galatasaray while still owned by Napoli, and lit up the Super League with 26 league goals, 37 in all competitions. Since then, Galatasaray made the move permanent in 2025, paying a Turkish record fee to sign him outright. When he's fit, he's a guarantee for double-digit goals, and on the European stage, he's shown he can dominate defenders who underestimated him. Level 6, great. The strikers who define an era. Robert Lewandowski. He has been a goal-scoring machine for over a decade, from his Borussia Dortmund days under Jurgen Klopp, where he announced himself with 4 goals against Real Madrid in 2013, to his Bayern Munich years, where he racked up titles and records. He has been relentless. The 2020/21 season, when he scored 41 Bundesliga goals to break Gerd Müller's record, cemented his place among the all-time greats. At Barcelona since 2022, he's continued to deliver, winning Pichichi trophies and keeping Barca competitive even through financial turmoil. By 2025, he's still producing in La Liga, though age has slowed him. What stands out is his professionalism. No scandals, no theatrics, just consistency. He's one of those strikers whose greatness feels inevitable, like gravity pulling the ball into the net. Kylian Mbappé. He has been living at the center of football's spotlight since he was a teenager. At just 18, he tore through Champions League defenses with Monaco, turning heads with his speed, composure, and swagger. By the time he joined PSG for a record-breaking fee, he was already seen as the heir to Messi and Ronaldo. And he didn't waste time proving it. League titles stacked up in Paris, golden boots became routine, and he turned League One into his personal playground. His raw pace, defenders clocking him sprinting like a 100-meter sprinter, made him almost unguardable. But what really set him apart was the finishing. He could dink, smash, curl, or roll it in, all at ridiculous speed. Internationally, he became a superstar on the biggest stage possible. In 2018, he led France to the World Cup at just 19, scoring in the final against Croatia. In 2022, he produced one of the greatest individual finals ever, a hat-trick against Argentina that almost snatched the trophy back for France. By 2025, he's the face of an entire generation. The big move finally happened in 2024. Mbappé joined Real Madrid. The Bernabeu has always been the stage for Galacticos, and Mbappé fits the role perfectly. With Vinicius Jr. on one side and Jude Bellingham behind, Madrid suddenly looks built to dominate Europe again, and Mbappé hasn't disappointed. Electric debuts, early goals in La Liga, and already delivering Champions League moments that feel like previews of his legend. What makes him great isn't just the stats, though those are absurd. Hundreds of career goals before turning 26, top scorer in France's history, and already a Champions League and La Liga Golden Boot contender. It's that aura. Whenever Mbappé gets the ball, stadiums hold their breath. He's reached a point where defenders don't think about stopping him, only about damage control. Harry Kane. He has become more than just England's captain. He's evolved into one of football's greatest scoring machines. After years at Tottenham carrying the club on his back, he made the jump to Bayern Munich in 2023 and immediately smashed records. 36 Bundesliga goals in his debut season, plus his usual knack for link-up play. He isn't just about goals, his playmaking has redefined what a striker can be, dropping deep to spray passes and feed runners. By 2025, he's still Bayern's lethal finisher, still England's main man, and still chasing the Champions League trophy that has eluded him. He is great, bordering on great, but the lack of major silverware at club level keeps him from breaking into the very top echelon. Level 7, GOAT, the strikers who shaped football history, Cristiano Ronaldo. He redefined what it meant to be a striker in the modern game. Starting as a winger at Manchester United, he slowly transitioned into the most lethal penalty box predator football has seen. At Real Madrid, his numbers became absurd, 450 goals in 438 games, Champions League records falling one after another, and a highlight reel of headers, free kicks, and tap-ins that showed his evolution into a complete finisher. Even into his late 30s, Ronaldo kept scoring wherever he went. Juventus, Manchester United again, and now Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, where he's turned the league into his personal shooting gallery. His work ethic, professionalism, and freakish athleticism kept him dominant for 2 decades. Love him or hate him, he's the template for the modern GOAT striker, a machine who broke the limits of what was thought possible. Lionel Messi. He isn't usually called a striker, but when he's played false nine or led the line, he's shown the position can be reinvented entirely. At Barcelona under Pep Guardiola, his false nine destroyed defenses, dragging centre-backs into midfield before slicing through with goals and assists. He finished with 672 goals for Barca, many of them from central positions. At PSG and later Inter Miami, he dropped deeper, but his ability to decide games with movement and finishing never left. By 2025, he's closing out his career in MLS, still pulling crowds and still finding the net. He changed the way football thinks about forwards, not just scorers, but playmakers and conductors who can create as much as they finish. Karim Benzema. His career has been a masterclass in patience and reinvention. For years at Real Madrid, he played second fiddle to Cristiano Ronaldo, often sacrificing his own goal tally to create space, drag defenders, and feed his superstar teammate. But when Ronaldo left in 2018, Benzema exploded into one of the most complete strikers in history. He delivered 4 straight 20-plus goal La Liga seasons, won the 2022 Ballon d'Or, and dragged Madrid to their 14th Champions League with a run of clutch performances that felt almost scripted. By 2023, he'd taken on a new adventure in Saudi Arabia with Al Ittihad, still scoring but clearly winding down. Even in this twilight, his legacy as a great striker remains untouchable, a career of adaptation, intelligence, and elite finishing. Erling Haaland. Now he is the present and future of this level. At Manchester City, he shattered the Premier League single-season goal record in 2022/23 with 36, then followed it up by helping City win the treble. By 2025, he's still bulldozing defenders, still racing onto through balls like a freight train, and still smashing records at 25 years old. He combines old-school centre-forward instincts with robotic efficiency, every touch aimed at goal, every run designed to end in a finish. He's already on a trajectory to challenge every major scoring record in football. If Ronaldo was the blueprint for professionalism and Messi was the blueprint for artistry, Haaland might be the blueprint for pure efficiency. Quite a list, right? Anyway, if you had to build your team around just one of these strikers, who's leading your line? Food for thought. If you enjoyed the video, you will surely love this one.